There are 3 drafts worth considering right now, and if you're sitting on draft vouchers, I actually think the smartest move for a lot of accounts is don't use them yet. Not because these drafts are bad, because in about 2 days, we may have more information, and these drafts should still be sitting right here. Let me explain. Right now, your 3 real choices are Man City, Liverpool, and Game Changer. And here's the first thing I noticed. If we take the headline 3 players from each banner and compare their current star signing shard prices, Game Changer comes to about 106,860 shards. Man City is about 105,000, and Liverpool is about 103,700. That's barely a 3,000 shard difference between all 3. So if you're picking a draft because you think one banner is just dramatically more valuable than the others, it really isn't. And that brings us to the mistake I think most people are making. Stop choosing the banner based on the 122 you want to pull. Obviously, I want Lucio. Obviously, you want Van Dijk. Obviously, Kompany looks ridiculous. But unless EA has personally adopted you, you probably need to care a lot more about what happens when you don't hit the 122. Man City gives you Kompany, but the fallback is Donnarumma or Foden. And Donnarumma currently costs over 30,000 shards by himself. So if goalkeeper or right wing actually improves your team, City has a pretty nice failure state. Liverpool has Van Dijk, then Gerrard and Rush. Gerrard at roughly 22.6k is really good value, especially if you need a box-to-box midfielder. But if you already have strong midfielders and Rush doesn't improve your striker, suddenly Liverpool becomes Van Dijk or disappointment. Then Game Changer has Lucio, Quaresma, and Fellaini. And Quaresma is one we've already talked about. At only about 23,000 shards, he gives you a pretty good secondary outcome if right wing is actually a need. But there's another thing people are overlooking. Your draft counter matters. The Champions drafts are following the same Champions progression on the live banners, while Game Changer has its own separate counter. So don't just ask which cards are better, ask which guarantee am I actually closest to? Because starting from scratch chasing Lucio is a completely different decision from someone who's already 5 drafts away from Pool A on Champions. And this is where I would personally slow down before spending anything. The widely circulated Week 4 leaks are pointing toward 2 more drafts on Sunday. Reportedly, City B keeps Kompany but swaps in 121 Holland and 120 Gvardiol. Liverpool B reportedly keeps Van Dijk, but adds 121 Dalglish and 120 Barnes. And if those leaks are accurate, Liverpool B's 3 headline cards would actually total roughly 108,400 shards at the reported signing prices, more than any of the 3 options live right now. Now, that does not mean Liverpool B automatically becomes the best draft. Shard price is not pack probability, and your squad matters more than a total on a calculator. But it does mean something very important. If you're undecided today, spending now gives up your ability to choose later. Waiting until Sunday? You should still have City A. You should still have Liverpool A. You should still have Game Changer. But now you'll potentially have 5 choices instead of 3. That is almost free information. So here's how I'd play it. If one of these current banners has 2 or 3 players that immediately improve your starting 11, go for it, especially if you're sitting right next to your guarantee. If you're specifically chasing Lucio and you're already deep into the Game Changer counter, that's also a legitimate reason to stay there. But if you're staring at these banners thinking, honestly, I could go City, maybe Liverpool, maybe Game Changer, wait. Because being undecided is actually the strongest argument for keeping your vouchers. And when the B drafts arrive, don't ask me which 122 is best. Ask, which banner gives my account the best result when I don't pull the 122? That's the draft I want.